This sign marks the start of one of the most dangerous roads in the UK. There's hairpin bends, steep drops, but some seriously amazing views. Wish us luck. For 8 days, we are driving the NC 500, an 800-kilometre ring road running around the epic sights of Scotland's north coast. So buckle up as we experience the highs and the lows of Scotland's Route 66. In the last episode, we spent 24 hours exploring the incredible sights of the Isle of Skye, and you join us at the start of day 3, where we once again woke up in a remote, secluded corner of that beautiful island. Morning. Hello and welcome back to the NC 500 road trip series, 8 days on Scotland's Route 66. This morning we're ending our little detour onto the Isle of Skye to join back up with the main NC 500 route, which today includes a section of road that is known as the most dangerous stretch in the whole of the UK. So, a little bit nervous about that, but let's get to it. Obviously, we're going to be leaving behind our lovely Airbnb caravan, which has been an amazing base for the last 2 nights, and I'm going to miss these views a lot. With essentials in hand, we hit the road once again.
Bye, caravan.
And we didn't have to be too sad about leaving our views behind, because that's one thing that Skye has in abundance. This scenic drive that took us off the island was a bit like a highlights reel, the perfect way to end our time there. So there we have it, we've just crossed back over the Skye Bridge and onto the mainland, ready to join up with the NC 500 once again. Our first goal that morning involved a slight detour from the main NC 500 route to get over to the Applecross Peninsula, home to that notorious mountain pass. But in the meantime, there was still plenty more to see from the car window. When you're driving through some of this scenery with such amazing weather, I keep forgetting that we're in Scotland. This seems like it should be somewhere in Europe, driving through the Alps or something like that. And much like the alpine routes of Europe, Scotland's north coast roads can get pretty hairy in places. It's not uncommon to find long, narrow sections of single-track roads with regular passing places where you can pull over for oncoming traffic. And many Highland locals worry that these routes aren't built to sustain the numbers of tourists that now drive on them, with an increase in campervan drivers causing the most concern. And there is one road in particular that would prefer to ban larger vehicles altogether, for very good reason. This is the Bealach, a rugged, twisting track that rises over 2,000 feet, making it Britain's steepest road ascent. And for many years, it was the only road connecting the remote Applecross Peninsula to the rest of the country. And now, it's a popular detour for thrill seekers on the NC 500. So here we are. We're sitting at the very base of the Applecross Pass, aka the Pass of the Cattle, because it was never actually designed for cars. It was designed for cattle, for animals. There's a couple of signs here at the bottom of the road with a lot of warnings on them. There's going to be hairpin bends. You're not supposed to drive caravans or any big vehicles up here just because there's so many twists and turns. So, here we go. For a bit of courage before we begin, let's crack open an iron brew. Let's do it. So with that, we started the climb. Okay, let's go. Okay, just gonna take it slow. You might be wondering, if this is so dangerous, why bother climbing it? Well, like a lot of tourist attractions, there's a view at the top. So hopefully that'll make it all worthwhile. So you can see the road has got a lot narrower now. It's So I would definitely not want to be driving any sort of big truck or caravan down here. Quite glad we've got the trusty Vauxhall Corsa. But the warning signs didn't seem to put off some people. There were actually quite a number of vans and buses coming down the hill, which made for a few interesting moments on the way up. I'm hoping this camper's gonna let us pass now. Nice. Thank you. It's getting a bit steeper now. Just staying in second gear, to be honest. Unsurprisingly, these steep, narrow roads are completely undrivable in winter, but in the summertime, it's a bucket list drive for all sorts of vehicles, both large and small. This route is very popular for motorbikes, and I can see why. The views are amazing, and actually, it'd be a lot easier to drive with something as small as a motorbike. We made very good use of the passing places on this lower section, and even had to do some reversing for one particularly impatient car. Bloody hell. Right. For most of the way so far, there hasn't been any sort of barrier on the side of the road, but coming up now there is one, so that must be a pretty steep section or a very tight bend. Luckily, there's not a lot of traffic here today. Fingers crossed it carries on like that, because it makes the drive very, very easy. Just take it nice and slow, take in the views. Awesome. That is such a drop. So you've got to be mental to drive something like that up here, surely. But thanks for stopping. It was now that we started to approach the most challenging section of the pass. The steepest incline, followed by 4 hairpin turns in very quick succession. Very narrow here. Whoa, look at that view. Wow. And then a hairpin turn. Okay. Wow. Now this bit looks crazy. So you've got 1, 2 hairpins in a row now. Imagine herding cattle up here. Bloody hell. Wow, that view is insane. Emma's getting it on the GoPro, don't worry. While I do this hairpin. Okay. Here we go. We have made it to the top. So let's park up and check out the views. Hey. That's all right, wasn't it?
It wasn't that bad. It's okay.
The viewpoint at the top of the pass is actually a vast open landscape, offering some pretty amazing views of the rocky terrain and down across the bay towards the Isle of Skye. But it was only after we started driving back down that we realised that we had already missed the very best vantage point of them all. Sitting right at the top of the pass, you can look down onto those incredible twists and turns. And for the way back down, I set up my camera once again to show you just how scary and beautiful this road really is. So we made it down from the Applecross Pass and there were some amazing views on the way down. But now we're heading towards the town of Torridon, which should be a very nice place. And then after that, we're going to carry on going to where we're staying the night. So should be, how long left do you think today?
About an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half of driving left, I think. We had no real expectations for this next part of the drive, but the incredible scenery just kept on coming. Scotland is mad. I mean, I thought the views on Skye were going to be hard to beat, but they're giving it a good go. After a couple of unplanned stops, we pulled into Torridon village, which was a beautiful little place. We stopped for some food at the general store, which again had a European alpine feel to it, with views looking over Loch Torridon. The drive from Applecross has been absolutely amazing. It's been so much fun to drive along these roads. And every 5 minutes I just want to stop and just get some more shots and take some photos. I think that's the joy of the NC500, is you need to allow enough time to be able to stop whenever you want, just instinctively. Because otherwise you'll just be rushing past. And the best things are those little hidden gems that you didn't even know about. And very quickly, we swapped out mountains for the coast. During our 3 days on the road, we still hadn't seen a single beach. So we decided it was time to change that. And what a place to start. Wow, I can see it. Oh my god. This is Gairloch Beach. And look how stunning that is. For such a beautiful stretch of sand, this beach was incredibly quiet, hidden just on the outskirts of Gairloch village. A really great stop for a refreshing dip. Oh, that is bloody freezing. There was also a really nice viewpoint just a couple of minutes drive up the road. Are we sure this is Scotland? Because that's crazy. By this point, we only had a few miles left to drive, so my mind started to wander from the beach to some much more pressing matters. It's England versus Scotland in the Euros tonight. The first time England and Scotland have played each other in 25 years, and I'm deep behind enemy lines, so I haven't quite figured out where I'm going to watch the game yet. But I'm a little bit too scared to go to a pub, to be honest. Well, that beach was absolutely incredible, and now we're just driving another 10 miles down the road to get to a little village called Aultbea, where we've booked a B&B for the night, so I'll see you there. Aultbea is a small fishing village with a population of only 370 people. It has a church and a local shop, but not a whole lot else. There's currently not even a pub open in the village after 2 recently closed down. In fact, outside of our B&B host at the old police house, I don't think we saw a single other person during our stay here. So here we are, we've made it to Aultbea, which looks like a lovely little village, very quiet but right on the water with some beautiful views. And this is our B&B room for the night. It costs £60 including breakfast, and it's got everything we need. You know, we're arriving late, we're leaving early, so this is great. So we've travelled about 130 miles today, so again, I'm very, very tired, so we're just going to go and find something to eat, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and I think I'll be watching the football in this room tonight as well. Next time on the NC 500 road trip series, we brave the Scottish weather to go in search of an architectural wonder. This is Europe's smallest castle.
That looks hilarious.